Creepy Shadow Ghost, or The Falling Body from the Ceiling, 1965. As the couples move into their new home in Texas, they take a photograph of the family sitting together, but as the photo is taken, a body falls from the ceiling. In 2007, a group of teachers, students, and scientists established a science camp in Norway to study the phenomenon known as the Hessdalen lights. On a clear night, Bjorn G. Hoge managed to take this picture using an exposure time of 30 seconds. The analysis of the spectrum reveals the object to be made of silicium, iron, and scandium. Despite being the most informative, this photo isn't the only one has been taken of the phenomenon, but the lights still have scientists scratching their heads over what exactly is happening in the Hessdalen Valley. The Martian Spherules, September 13, 2013. In 2004, the Mars Exploration Rover Opportunity had already detected curious blueberry-shaped microscopic formation in the Martian soil, but a much stranger picture was taken by Opportunity in the end of 2012, depicting bigger spherules in larger numbers, suggested to be made of hematite, a possible sign of a past presence of water. Scientists are still uncertain of what these things might be. Manival UFO Photo 1950. 60 years ago, on May 11, 1950, something extraordinary happened just 10 miles outside the otherwise ordinary town of McManival, Oregon. A couple of down-to-earth farmers, Paul and Evelyn Trent, took 2 photos of something out of this world. Those images turned out to be possibly the most famous UFO photos ever taken, and certainly the ones that are considered to have the highest likelihood of being authentic. Without question, they remain the most hotly debated and defined foreign object of flying saucer photos ever. Solway First Spaceman, May 23, 1964. In 1964, Jim Templeton was on a day trip to Berg Marsh with his daughter and wife. Alone in the marsh, he decided to take some photos of his daughter. When the pictures were developed, he noticed one with a mysterious figure appearing in the background. He complained to the film manufacturer Kodak, but analysis confirmed that nothing unusual was done to the film. There is no explanation to this picture so far. The Spectre of Newport Church. This photo, almost too good to be real, has supposedly been scrutinized by photo experts who say the image is not the result of a double exposure. This photograph was taken in 1963 by Reverend K. F. Lord at Newport Church in North Yorkshire, England. It has been a controversial photo because it's just too good. The shrouded face and the way it's looking directly into the camera makes it look like it was posed, a clever double exposure. Yet supposedly the photo has been scrutinized by photo experts who say the image is not the result of a double exposure. The Reverend Lord has said of the photos that nothing was visible to the naked eye when he took the snapshot of his altar, yet when the film was developed stands there was this strange cowl figure. The Newport Church was built in 1970 and, as far as anyone knows, didn't have a history of ghosts, haunting, or other peculiar phenomena. Those why have carefully analyzed the proportions of the object in the photo calculated that the spectre is about 9 feet tall. Madonna and the Undefined Foreign Object. The painting Madonna and Child with the infant St. John, which can be found in the Hercules Room of the Palazzo Vecchio, is affectionately known locally as Madonna del UFO, or Our Lady of the Flying Saucer. Painted in the 15th century by Domenico Ghirlandaio, 1449-1494, it is a strange object floating in the sky that had people baffled. The Unknown Rebel, June 5, 1989. One day after the Chinese government's violent crackdown on the Tiananmen protests in Beijing, pictures are taken of Chang'an Avenue where A column of tanks is blocked by a man protesting alone in front of the armored vehicles. Who was the man and what happened to him remains a mystery. But the photograph immediately became very famous, and the mystery man became a powerful symbol of non-violent resistance throughout the world. The Watertown Ghost, December 4, 1924. This photograph has been around for a long time, and is one of the first ghost photographs I recall seeing. According to the legend, in 1924, James Courtney and Michael Meehan, two crewmen of the tanker SS Watertown, were killed by gas fumes while cleaning a cargo tank. They were buried at sea on December 4, 1924, off the Mexican coast as the Watertown made its way from the Panama Canal to New York City. On December 5, the first officer reported seeing the faces of the port side of the ship. Over the next several days, every member of the crew reported seeing their faces. It wasn't until they docked in New Orleans did someone suggest that they tried to photograph the faces. Captain Keith Tracy brought a camera on board for that very purpose. Over the next several days, Tracy took 6 pictures. They then secured the camera in the ship's vault. The camera stayed there until it was taken to a commercial developer after the ship docked in New York City. Of the 6 photos taken, only one showed that appeared to be the faces of the 2 crewmen. Black Knight Satellite, 11 December 1998. This photograph is one of several observations made by some of the first man-made satellites in 1960, reporting an undefined objects in polar orbit, something that neither the United States nor USSR were capable of at the time. Since then, the Black Knight was said to disappear and reappear at regular intervals. By zooming in the picture, it provides greater detail on the structure of this strange object. The story starts with Nikola Tesla. It said that he picked up a repeating radio signal in 1899 that he believed was coming from space and said so publicly at a conference. In the 1920s, amateur radio operators were able to receive the same signal. Next, scientists in Oslo, Norway, experimenting with short-wave transmissions into space in 1928 began picking up long delay echoes, a not fully understood phenomenon in which they received echoes several seconds after transmission. The apparent explanation finally came in 1954 when newspapers including the St. Louis Post-Dispatch and the San Francisco Examiner reported an announcement from the United States Air Force that 2 satellites were found to be orbiting the Earth at a time when no nation yet had the ability to launch them. It appeared that Black Knight had been detected by multiple lines of evidence and was confirmed by the United States Air Force.